In evaluating the reasons or the argument, remember we're talking about arguments now, and an argument that we're talking about, remember, is not the fight on the street between the Bloods and the Crips, or any gangs, or a physical dispute, or it's not even a yelling match, but rather it's a set of reasons that are supposed to lead to a certain claim, a conclusion. And the way we're going to evaluate these arguments, these reasons, is by first carefully understanding or interpreting an argument that's presented in the passage. And that involves figuring out what the author means by identifying the point of his argument. You ask yourself, what is this guy trying to get to? Guy being my gender-neutral term. And that, we're going to say, is the conclusion. If the point of the person's writing is there is free will, there isn't free will, that is the conclusion. Now, having identified the conclusion, we then have to identify precisely what the reasons are that she gives for the conclusions. And sometimes the other thing we're going to have to do is figure out what are some of the unstated assumptions or premises, because oftentimes in giving an argument, a person assumes something but doesn't really provide reasons for it. Now, this is what we're going to look at as the first step in argument analysis, that is, reconstructing the argument, because we want to have a very precise statement so we'll be able to take the second step being evaluating the argument. So now we have an idea of how we're going to go about. We're going to reconstruct it, and then we're going to evaluate it. The two steps in argument analysis.